Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to Mixed Media Mayhem, which is a weekly hop we do on Fridays involving mixed media. And I am also playing along with Off the Board, where we are using Pinterest pins all month long to inspire our choices. I am using this color palette as my Pinterest pin for Off the Board. And for Mixed Media Mayhem, we are doing some stamping, some acrylic paint, and some chipboard. So I am using the Heidi Swap extra large font stamps. I think these came out, I want to say in February, so they're not that old. I don't know if she's got them available on her website or not, but I bought them directly through her website. I'm also using Catherine Pooler ink in Apricot, and I am just stamping the number 1. Well, the word 1, not the number. The word 1. Documenting my niece's middle child's first birthday. Just a couple of cute photos from her birthday party. And this stamp set comes with, excuse me, some textures that you can add to the fonts. And I thought I would go ahead and use those. This is, I think, maybe the first time I've used the actual textures, but I really like them. I think they're really cute. This one I didn't want them as wide as it actually shows, so I didn't back it on my acrylic block. I just held it in my hand and I kind of bent it so that it would pick up some of the ink, and then just stamp a portion of it over the actual letter rather than the larger block that it offered, or that was available to me. So the ink that I am stamping it in, the darker color in, is Juniper Mist Catherine Pooler ink, and I'm liking the way that this is coming out. I'm just freehand cutting them, you guys. Nothing super earth-shattering or anything like that. I don't remember if there were dies associated with this stamp set. There may have been, but I don't think so. Anyway, but she may have come out with those by now. I have no idea. I'm not really sure. I will put a link to these if they're still available down below. And I will put a link to the other products that I'm using as well, including the 2 inks that I have just shown you that I'm using from Catherine Pooler. I'm not going to cut out the center of the O. I'm going to leave it solid. I think it looks fine, and it would just be kind of a pain to cut anyway. It is kind of a big space, but it would have also cut down in the navy stamping that I did. My apologies, you guys. I'm still coughing from being sick in June. Feeling much better, but still the cough is lingering. So I have these chipboard pieces that are from Dusty Attic that I got from MK over at Some Assemblage Required. She does carry a lot of their products. And I am just going to go ahead and cut out all of the foliage that's in here, and I'm going to paint it. So I don't make you sit through watching me cut out everything, because it took me a little bit of time. You don't have to cut out like all of the pieces. They are just kind of tacked in 2 or 3 spots, so you just have to kind of, I use my craft knife and just push down on the little spot where it's attached and to pop it free. It's really easy, doesn't take any effort, but it does take some time. So now I'm just using some white acrylic paint, and I am painting everything, and that's going to give me a nice white surface to take any colors that I decide to add. I find with the chipboard, if I'm using ink, it does tend to soak right into the chipboard, and then it doesn't give you a vibrant color. And I wasn't really sure what I was going to do, if I was going to ink it or if I was going to end up spraying on these different pieces. So I wanted to start with a white background instead of the chipboard color background. You could also use gesso if you have gesso available and you don't have acrylic paint. I find most people have acrylic paint in their stash, more so than gesso, but either one would work. And I'm just using my ink applicator foam and tapping it into my paint, and then just tapping it right on top of each of those pieces. And then I will go and wash the foam off, and my applicator tool actually will have some on it because I'm doing quite a large application here. There's a lot of pieces, and so it's pretty saturated, but it's not a problem to go ahead and wash that off, and then I will be able to use that foam pad for something else. Now I did pull out some sprays, some Dilutions spray in, I think I've got Mushy Peas, some Martini, this I believe is Aloe Dina Wakley Mist. I think I'm going to show you these a little closer at the end, but it doesn't give me the best coverage, so I did actually spray them again with my Distress Oxide sprays in Twisted Citron, and I believe my other one is Shabby Shutters. And that really gave it better coverage than the other ones. The other ones tend to kind of pool up on top of the gesso or the acrylic paint, and then the coverage is not as solid. And so I wanted a better, more solid coverage, so I just went over it again with the oxide spray when everything was dry. Now the paper that I'm using is Happy Days paper from Cocoa Vanilla. I think it's called Juicy Fruit, and it came with all of that mixed media around the outside, so I didn't feel like I needed to do any mixed media on my paper. It's pretty much done for me. You could definitely add to it if you felt like you wanted to, but I decided I was just going to go ahead and leave it. I went through the flower ephemera pack from the same collection, pulling in some of the peach or I don't know, it's not really peach. It's kind of like a salmon-y color, coral, almost coral color, and then yellow, because in the photo she's wearing quite a bit of those colors in her pants, and then she's got this little bouncy giraffe behind her that picks up the yellow colors, and the fence leans towards that yellowy orange. And so I'm just gonna go with those warm tones, staying away from pinks, but more in the orangey yellow family. And I'm liking the way that that's looking so far. I have not painted my little flowers because I wasn't sure what color I was going to go with. So I end up using some paint that is actually paint we used on our cruise albums. And one of them I know is, I think it is actually called Coral. And then the other one I'm not really sure what the color is, but they are either folk art. Actually, I believe they're both folk art brand, and they're just from Hobby Lobby. So a yellow and a peachy coral color, and just painting those up. I did actually paint the little fairy's dress here, and then I will go over her hair with some of the yellow, going over the dragonflies and the fairy's wings with some Stickles glitter gel in Moon Dust. And I'm liking the way that that is looking. I think it's really pretty, and it's adding a little extra sparkle to the page, and it's going to make it really nice for her. Now this is going to go in her album. It's not going in my album. I am working on her photos for her first year, so one layout a month for the first year, and her mom picked the photos out and sent those over to me so I could make those for her. And this is her, again, 1 year photos. I think it's really cute. I'm not really working in order on them. I'm kind of just going with what sparks my creativity, and that's just kind of how I work with most things. I scrapbook out of order. When things go in my albums, they go in chronological order when they get put away, but I don't scrapbook in chronological order. So yeah, it's kind of all over the place on my channel with what you're going to see, whether it's a kid layout, a cruise layout, a pet layout, a personal, like about things that I've got going on in my life or whatever. You're going to see all kinds of things happening. You might also see stuff from my kids' childhood, because I don't have all of those done, and so I pull those out sometimes as well. And then sometimes stuff from my own childhood. So if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel, and I hope you find some inspiration because there's all kinds of stuff going on. And I haven't been posting as much in June, but I'm hoping to get back to, you know, a couple of videos a week in July, but I'm also working on getting everything ready for 30 Days of Cutfiles and prepping those videos, and I've got a vacation coming up, so I will be actually on another cruise towards the end of the month, and then visiting my mom and my dad in Idaho. So I am trying to work ahead a bit, and so there is some content for you guys over the next month and a half, even though it's not going to be every single day like it was in May. But come back in August, because it will be every day in August, because we're doing 31 Days of Cutfiles. If you haven't seen what that is, you can purchase the package of Cutfiles pre-cut from MK over at Some Assemblage Required, or you can purchase the digital downloads of the 31 Days of Cutfiles, also available under the digital section on her website. But you get a calendar of the month and which cut file we're using each day, and you will get a video from me and a video from her for each day of the month. You can also join the Facebook group and play along with your own cut files if you're not interested in purchasing the ones that we designed, and you can see the ones that we designed over in the 31 Days of Cutfiles group. I believe that's where she showed the reveal. Actually, it may have been on her own page. I'll put a link for it down below so that you can find that if that's of interest to you. I'll also put a link for Mixed Media Mayhem. There's a Facebook group for that, and we have recipes already loaded and ready to go all the way through August, so you can play along each week with us on Mixed Media Mayhem. There's a different recipe or sometimes an inspiration piece. Right now I think most of them are recipes, but you never know what you're going to end up with. And then you can also play along with Off the Board. That is a series that Crystal Barrett started over at Pineapple Papers. She's been doing it for several years now, and it happens on the last Friday of the month and then the entire month of July, where we're just using Pinterest pins. You can use whatever you want. There is no rhyme or reason to what you have to use, and play along where you want to. So yeah, that's all of the info on all of the hops that are going on right now that I am playing with. So now I've gone ahead and layered up everything. Now the reason I did not go with adding any kind of foam to my title there is because it is actually popped up onto chipboard, so I just put a little foam to back the pieces where it hangs over the chipboard. And that is it, you guys. I did use a Sharpie to darken up those dragonfly bodies, and I've used some Nuvo drops to do the centers of those chipboard flowers in another sparkly color, kind of like the dragonfly wings. And that is it. Thanks so much for watching. If you have questions or comments, leave those down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye bye.